So my co-editor Carlos and I hold a view that might be just slightly unpopular among American socialist circles, and that is that America isn't that bad. Just kidding. It's that there are two Americas, right? There's the bourgeois America that is that bad, that is incredibly exploitative, incredibly imperialistic, oftentimes racist. And then you have the other end, which is the masses, the working people of America, and the people who have struggled to make America better, right? Those who struggled in order to get gay marriage legalized, those who struggled in the labor movement in the 20th century, those who struggled to fight against slavery in the Civil War and abolish slavery in our country. There's another side of America that's always fought to move the country forward to something better, eventually towards socialism. And that's kind of what Michael Parenti is going to talk about here. He's going to talk about the freedoms that we have in America and how these weren't given to us, right? They want you to be grateful. Thank you so much, America, for giving us these freedoms. Thank you to the ruling class. But really, what this was, anytime you look at a freedom that we have, like women's suffrage or protections for workers, these were things that were fought for by oftentimes organized labor or just activists. So let's watch this Parenti clip, and then we'll talk about it a little more.
And I don't think everything in America is bad. I think the struggles and the freedoms that we have fought for and have tried to maintain, which allow us to talk right here now without the goon squads coming in, as they would have done 100 years ago in this country if you had this kind of conversation. The constable probably would have locked that door, or the president of the university would have thrown us all out and not allowed the speech to go on. I think those are freedoms which we have won. And that's not something my country gave me. There's some mystical entity called my country that gave me those freedoms. Those freedoms were won through democratic struggle, through agitation, through demonstration, through the right to have the vote. Women were never given the vote. Women had to fight for 100 years and demonstrate, get garbage thrown at them and spit on and arrested and thrown into jail. Some of them died of pneumonia, force-fed in prison. They fought, they had to forcibly extract that democratic right.
Man, Parenti is just the GOAT, isn't he? I love listening to that dude talk about literally anything. Obviously, his geopolitical analysis is the best, but it's interesting there to hear him talk about domestic politics and how, even though America is such an unequal, racist, imperialistic country, the good things that we do have been fought for, have been struggled for, which is Marx's original thesis, right? That the existing society and the gains that the working masses have made come through struggle, through class struggle. One example that I like to think of that came after Parenti's time, when he was mostly out doing his thing, was when Obama legalized gay marriage. A lot of people don't know this. When Obama and Biden got elected in 2008, they were not pro-gay marriage. I remember this. I was growing up in a place where a lot of people were not in favor of gay marriage. It was not as popular as it became. And through the struggle of people on the ground, right, through LGBTQ plus people going out in the streets and demanding that they be given equal rights, they be given the right to marry each other, which gives you tax benefits, and there's various legal things. Regardless of the fact that it's just bigoted to say that two people can't love each other, that the government's going to stop people from doing that and expressing that publicly. And they had to fight for it, and eventually they moved Obama there. And if you look at the news on this, there's all this coverage about Obama's evolution. What a great man. He started out as a bigot, and then after protests in the streets among people just wanting equal rights, he evolved. It wasn't that he evolved, it was that he saw the base of the Democratic Party moving that way, and people were demanding that they stop being treated like they're subhuman because of their sexuality, and they forced Obama and Biden there. They forced Obama and Biden to give us gay marriage, right? The ruling class wants us to look at it like, thank you, Obama and Biden, for this great thing you did, bringing us equality. No, equality needs to be fought for. It needs to be extracted from these people. I can't remember the exact language that Parenti uses, but basically extracted from the ruling class. And you can look back in history, everything that we have, every protection that we have now has been fought for, essentially things like child labor. You know, there was child labor until people organized and got these laws making child labor illegal, making overtime pay a thing, making it so you can't just work people to death with no protections. You know, there are certain government regulations now. Obviously, we want worker ownership because that's the ultimate protection for workers, but every single protection that exists in our current liberal democracy is something that has been fought for by the masses. And this is Marx's thesis, right, that things are fought for through class struggle. And people challenge this idea, you know, and there's various ways you could challenge it, but essentially it's true, right? Like most of the protections we have been earned through class struggle, and the current system that we have has come about through class struggle, and the path forward to socialism and to more worker protections is through class struggle, is through organizing the masses. And that's how everything has been fought and earned, as I said. And you have two poles here, right? The dynamic is you have the bourgeoisie and then you have the masses, whether it be lumpen proletariat or the actual proletariat. And we at Midwestern Marx hold the view that the productive working class, agricultural and industrial workers hold a special place in the economy because their labor is so vital to the way that society functions. So if you're able to organize these sectors, they hold more power over the economy. But we want to organize everyone who works, right? The entirety of the masses. People who want to struggle and take society forward, but people who also recognize the enemy are those who own, right? The Koch brothers and the political elites. That the Democratic Party are not your friend, right? They are also a part of the ruling class. And we need to wage a struggle against all the evils of the ruling class, evils that are imperialism, the racist prison industrial complex that tons of private companies are profiting off of, the exploitation of all our workers, which right now our economy is shifting towards a gig economy. There's more owner-operators, what we would call scabs, right? Rather than unionized labor, you have these private contractors, and this makes it really, really difficult to organize the most important sectors of the economy. And this is intentional by the ruling class. And it's important to recognize these things in our struggle against the ruling class and find ways to organize ourselves and recognize that things will not be given. Things need to be fought for. There is an enemy, right? Just by their place in the economy, within capitalism, the ruling class is going to do all these evils. Imperialism, lock people up to make money, move the economy towards a gig economy so they don't have to pay their workers jack shit. You know, that is the enemy, and that is who we need to wage our struggle against. All right, thanks for watching that Parenti video with me, everyone. I'll see you later.